host, Jess Juntunen, and it is a big day, December 22nd, a big week on the calendar, cruising into the end of 2020, cruising into, for many of us, the holiday week and weeks of many, many energies, and this big convergence of energies with the solstice that came in yesterday. Unbelievably remarkable moment that we are all here today. And it's no mistake you're listening to this. Whether or not you are here live or catching the recording, trust it is in the perfect moment. So, how I always love to open the show is just to talk a little bit about how we're doing, what's happening with the energies, what's going on. I myself am a channel and a reader, as well as a medical intuitive, a coach, a counselor, and mentor. So, many, many different ways I love to explore what is happening for us, and this real aspect of multidimensional wellness that comes into it, that we are so many parts, we are one and we are wholeness, but yet we have got to honor our multidimensional beingness in order to reunify, right? We can't ignore our body. That's a very important dimension of ourselves if we want to go further in our spiritual growth, right? So, really honoring that and really feeling into, hey, what are the energies that are happening right now so that we can be supported by them? That's why it's so helpful to know. And if anything that I share about the energies and what is happening rings true for you, I would definitely check out Shri and Kira, Wisdom Teacher Shri Ramka and Master Lady Kira Ra, because their predictions, their readings, their energy reports about what is happening are always spot on. I hardly even go look anywhere else anymore, so really, if you've not ever touched in with their work, I encourage you to find more at officialshriandkira.com. If anything I am sharing uh, resonates, and some of you listening probably already know about Shri and Kira and tune into them. But if you don't, that is there. So, wow. Yeah. Solstice week. We have had a huge last couple weeks because, as was shared on last week's show, and if you missed that, we had the beautiful guest, India, and she is so phenomenal. And we talked about some of these energies a bit then. And definitely last all the way a million years ago, last Monday, a week ago and a day, that was December 14th. That was when we opened up huge expansive flow. So while many people are very focused on the convergence and solstice, which is beautiful, the greater energy was available to us last week. So if you've been riding on this energy for the last week or so, yeah, you're in the flow. Things have really opened up. And this week gets to be an expansion of that, but everything is expanding. So it's a big week for ego, for density concepts, and by density I mean the 3D, the world of form that we live on in a body, our minds, our emotions, everything that comes with having a body and being here and this beautiful earth experience, right? That ego is a very third dimensional concept, right? It doesn't live in other dimensions. It can live a little bit in the fifth, and we're seeing some more egos make it into the fifth, and the fifth is rocking and rolling, the fifth dimension, that is, so a lot of us that have been on this path are being asked to anchor even higher. The fifth dimension is like the waiting room, like Archangel Zadkiel says. It's the place where we go and get accustomed and get our footing, but there's more. And a lot of ego is making its way into that fifth dimensional realm. And it's ripe right now. The planetary thought body, and that's this, imagine that there's like this big soup that all of your thoughts get added to, along with every other being's thoughts and emotions and projections. It's filling this planetary thought body. It is very full and very robust, very hungry to just keep eating more. It's like the never um, ending monster that just wants to keep eating more. Give me more, 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 because it's never satiated, and it loves drama. It loves, anything that feels not like peace, love, or joy is going to be density realm. So any kind of suffering or jealousy or anger or guilt or shame or grief, anger, fear, all of it lives in the fourth dimension and the third dimension, right? And the fourth dimension is just full. It is just full. And there's a lot of disincarnate beings there. So there's a lot of things happening here. How do you know when you're like in one or the other? You will feel a difference when you feel a freedom from the entrapment that comes from those emotional experiences that bring us into thoughts and beliefs and triggers the whole gamut. You know when you feel a collapse in your energy. You know when you feel like I'm depleted, I'm feeling maybe some victim energy, feeling less than or justified or righteous. That's a very alive energy right now as well. And yeah, just seeing over in the chat. Hello, B. Hello, everybody. Hello, everybody over at Facebook as well. Really awesome if you're here connecting live and in real time. And yeah, heads up, if you are catching this live, we do have the call board open, and I love taking, questions. If you have a sharing about the beautiful things that are happening in your world through the gift of raising your consciousness, or if you would like a mini reading, the number is 517 208 1500. That is 517 208 1500. And give a call in, and I'd love to have you on. And if you're catching this in the replay and you couldn't get on, but you would love to share something or request a reading, you can always also email me at jess at selfascensionstudios.com, and just put in the subject line like, Soul Fusion Cafe radio show, question, sharing, reading, and I will definitely get to that on the air. I love hearing from you and love sharing. And oh, hello, there's more people. Hello, namaste. So happy you're here live too. Namaste. Oh, Rachel, Gary, Jerry, hello. It is so fun. It's so fun because the live broadcast really gives us that sense of real community, and we can pop in the chat if we want and talk with one another. A beautiful way to share. So yeah, talking about some of these energies and how much ego is going to be ramping up this week. So we really do want to be aware of where this is happening. And isn't the holiday week a time for the ego shenanigans to act up anyways? Because we have this big expansion of light, and because we have this massive up level that started back on the 14th, that is continuing, that is not only setting the course for the next year, but the next 1,000. I mean, take that in, breathe. You have got this. You wouldn't be here if it wasn't otherwise. You are doing enough. You are enough, right? Sometimes I feel that in like the third chakra in that trust solar plexus center that says, hey, am I doing enough? Am I doing this right? I don't know if I trust myself. Trust yourself. This is the moment to really, really trust yourself and that invitation. So yeah, things are going to look interesting. Things are going to come up. Our belief systems that haven't been resolved, false limiting beliefs in our own personal sphere, beings around us. We also know, those of us that celebrate holidays, if you are in contact with friends or family, that sometimes there's triggers there. Or look, there's just, triggers. There's just can be triggers. I can share that in my own experience. Today I'm honoring the passing of my aunt, who passed away very tragically last year on this day, and didn't even know I was going to bring that up. But it's like, wow, there's a lot of people feeling that grief, and I can feel and sense and know that she's exactly, where she needs to be, and that, I've come to a lot of acceptance around that. But it still rocked my whole family. It was a very untimely, traumatic event. So feeling that energy, like, how do I support family? But also there's a grief because we aren't getting together the same way that we normally would, with things being as such, right? So there's a lot that we're navigating, whether it's a loss, or we definitely feel the loss, even if it didn't happen at this time of year, of those that were with us, even if we are ascended in our spiritual consciousness and know there's a greater design in things. But there's the human self that has those grief feelings. So some of that kind of things come up. There's a lot of trauma triggers if things happened in family of origin around this time. It's just a rich time. I don't have to go into it in depth, but it's crazy, that there is a lot being played out, and very much the victim triangle is so alive. And Shri and Kira do an amazing job talking about the victim triangle. And you can also look that up. I mean, there's a lot of information out there, because it's a concept that comes from psychotherapy, but it applies so amazingly to the world we live in and helps as a framework of understanding that the victim triangle is what is so alive and well in the 3D. It's ego driven, it's very connected to this realm, and there always has to be a victim, a perpetrator, and a rescuer in this triangle for it to be the triangle, right? And that doesn't mean you have to have three people playing those roles. It can just be two people, it can just be one person, it can be many, because we do it in our head. And this is where I really challenge you to be aware of how much you're doing this in your own mind. Like, how much do we beat up on ourselves in our own mind, and look for a rescuer or something to save us. And that might come from a person, a substance, some kind of coping mechanism, to relieve the feelings of being a victim of our own perpetration, or being perpetrated upon over and over and over again by people that hurt us in the past. And it's never saying, yeah, that's okay that they did that. But letting them live rent free in our head hurts us, right? It continues to hurt us. So it's really that moment of forgiveness work, deep forgiveness work. Many are going through shadow work right now. Many are going through void experiences, because that's how it works here. We have to go down deep into that dark place and love ourselves through it, and every aspect of ourselves, in order to heal and remember the light that we are. So definitely a lot of those experiences, and if you're having an experience like that, you aren't alone, I promise. And it's really interesting, because this victim triangle is just so active, and it's an addictive cycle, and so many beings are playing in it right now. And it's very aligned with spiritualized ego, whereas the ego gets stronger. The ego learns, there's a power in the we, and it's not just about me anymore. It's we, it's a cause, it's uh, alignment around what is right or wrong. There's always going to be a sense of righteousness with it, and it's a very activism role, and everyone has to go through it. I've done my activism role, I'm sure you all have. We're in it, and you're out fighting. And Archangel Zadkiel does talk about this, go be an activist, do it, but you will be very tired, because you will get tired. It doesn't sustain you, because it's very still entrenched in that victim triangle. If somebody's doing wrong, and maybe we think we're the rescuers, but it's we, it's an alignment, it's a group. So we are seeing the rise of group think and polarization around things, and it's wild, right? So what do we do about it? And this is the call of the master that is happening right now. And a lot of, today's topic is around this. How do we really self partner with our own self in order to transcend and lift out of the density drama, the chaos, the pain and the suffering? And how can we really just like come to love ourselves so we can be in greater unification? It's really about tapping in and lifting, and in multidimensional wellness, which is so many facets of care. I've explored this for so long, as I'm sure many of you have, how we integrate all the information we learn over the journey, and how we think about ourselves and our place in the world. It evolves a lot, right? And a lot of people get lost doing shadow work, or doing deep, like, rooting into the earth and things like this too. And there's nothing wrong with any way of connecting with spirit or self. Nothing wrong. However, uh, it can lead to being a little stuck and dealing with extra energy to clear, remove, release than maybe we needed to, right? So the ascended realm and the archangelic realm, something I learned right away was not to send cords into the earth. And that's taught really commonly. And at one time, I think, yes, this was so valuable and valid, and it has supported me in my life. However, the earth is so full right now, and she is birthing. So we're all birthing. This is the other energy happening this week. So we've talked a lot about, like, hey, there's a lot of ego and drama and things like that happening, and we want to lift above it, right? But there's also, this big expansion around, what are you birthing? How are you serving? How are you coming out into the world with your gifts and sharing them and really accepting yourself, right? Through all of that. And it really is important. Your energy matters, and what you consume matters, and how you nourish yourself matters. And the earth is doing this too. She's birthing and she can't take anymore. So if you put cords into the earth, she's regurgitating is what's happening. So you're going to be absorbing this regurgitated material because she's trying to offload right now anyways. She's full, so the archangelic realm talks about this too, like the flooding and the changes in the earth. It's what she needs to do as she transitions. And it's really imperative to lift up and connect with our ascended beingness and love the earth and walk with the earth. We don't want to send cords down into her. We don't want to stomp on her. We want to really be in a harmony with her. We want to be the stewards of her and take care of her, but at the same time, she can take care of herself. She is taking care of herself. But yeah, we want to really connect up and bring those ascended energies into the earth experience rather than rooting into the earth right now, because it won't stabilize you. Maybe in the moment you might feel like you did, but it's not going to stabilize you. It's going to destabilize you. And same for doing the deep shadow work and things. Yes, it's so important. Yes, passionate about it. The void and dark night of the soul and all the aspects of ourselves, the dark side, quote unquote. Yes, important. But we can get obsessed with living there and just be very stuck without the lifting. The lifting is important. Lifting up, 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 connecting up, up, up again. And sometimes I feel like I'm repeating myself so much, but I know I need to hear this every day and be reminded every day, because the world as it is has so much magnetic force around uh, the dramas and the chaos that it's really easy to forget during your day-to-day experience if you're not touching in and remembering to lift up and connect. It is like Velcro that grabs at you really easily and will seek a way in, and then all of that interference energy that's robustly fat and happy in the fourth dimension we were talking about is, happy to glom on to any less than emotions or feelings or beliefs that you have, any pain, any justified anger, or whatever it is. It's going to say, hey, this feeds it and it wants more, and we'll try to stimulate to give more. We've got to disconnect, clear often, and connect up. We want to make sure, of course, that we're bringing in some kind of clearing. Some, whether that's the container practice. If you don't know about that, I can shoot you a PDF, or you can find it at shriankira.com. Super simple, super powerful. Or come hang out at the new moon ceremonies. We always do some container clearing at those. Those are on my site at selfascensionstudios.com. I believe that the December journey is still up, but if you go there, the January will be up soon, but you can still even sign up and I will get it. Even if you signed up for December, I'll know you mean January if you're signing up at this point forward. And I will try to get that changed. So by the time you go over there, it's changed. But yeah, container practice, saltwater baths. What are some of your favorite ways that you like to clear? Getting out in the woods, breathing, foot baths, essential oils, um, many beautiful ways to clear energy and then come into your center of your being. We have to really connect a lot, you know. So today, I think it's so important that we talk about this self partnering piece because it was a huge part of my healing. And I think I always was doing this work in so many ways, but I didn't necessarily call it self partnering. And I'm not sure who coined that term, but self partnering really works for me to consider how I am partnering with myself, or you might call it self parenting. You know, how are we parenting ourselves? Because any friction or anything that we feel that's less than is really an unmet need that is expressing itself, and then a bunch of beliefs get attached to it because my needs not being met, I don't feel right, I don't feel good, I'm hurt, whatever is coming forward, and that must be because I'm not good enough, or I'm not worthy, or I deserve to be punished. And these are, you know, that's like a really simple way to explain it. Sometimes it's so nuanced to really follow the threads of these beliefs and where they come from because it's so unconscious, you know. And that's why awareness is the key. It's the foundation of beginning our healing journey, because how can we even know what to work through if we're not aware it is there? And yeah, if we don't look at that piece, then right, we just don't get there. So, how do we really honor whatever is happening in our experience so that we can live through it and not let it continue to cloud us? And when something comes in and happens and you're having a knee jerk reaction or response, if you go into anger or fear or pain and you know the thoughts start swirling, I mean, you know, you're already engaged, you're in that victim triangle, you're in the velcro of density, and that's perfect once you recognize it happening, right? And I really love the safe practice, and this was one that was brought by Sri and Kira through the archangelic realm. And it's so profound for whenever you are feeling the grip or stickiness of density. If you feel a trauma, a trigger, whatever is happening, take this moment, you know, and or tell yourself, I'll take a moment and a bit when I'm able to. If you can't right away in that moment, bring your hand to your heart first and foremost every time. So SAFE stands is an acronym and stands for, the S is for stop. Stop. Whatever's going on in your mind, whatever thoughts are swirling, stop, right? Become aware. The A of safe, become aware. Aware that, hey, I'm in the Velcro of density here. I'm feeling the stuff. I recognize it. The F is for feel, right? And I don't know who coins this term. You got to feel it to heal it. It's true. We don't want to swim in it forever. I was an expert at that for a long time before I had an awakening. I would love to swim in my pain a lot, right? So we don't want to stay there, but we want to feel it. We want to go to where that is. So stop, acknowledge, feel. And then the E is expand. So feel like, where is this happening in my body? Where am I noticing it? Feel it. Let yourself dive in for a moment. And then you breathe and you expand through it. And heart works really well. Expand. Yes. Stop, acknowledge, feel, expand. And beautiful. I'm just saying hello and love to YouTube and Facebook. I'm seeing more beautiful people popping in. Yes. I'm so digging what you're sharing, Dominique. Lift everyone by staying with your daily going within practice. This takes tenacity, yet the reward of how you feel afterwards propels you to keep it up. Absolutely. Namaste, Lynn. Rachel, I'm so glad it's resonating with you. So perfect. Yeah, I'm totally with you. That going within is so important to really get the answers. From the self partner, right? Like, we so often look outside ourselves, and this is the habit that we're breaking, right? And whether we think we've broken it or not, it's a very common habit of this world and can rear its head that we look to the outside of us for validation, support, understanding, to have those needs fulfilled, the unmet needs that cause the trigger and pain in the first place. If there's not peace, love, or joy happening in your being and something else is active, there's an unmet need at play. So if you really drop into your body and ask yourself, hey, what is the unmet need that I am experiencing right now? What is the unmet need? And you will come to a greater wisdom. And that's why that safe practice is so powerful as well. Because when you get to the expand part, you can really say, hey, I'm going to feel into what my unmet need is and expand through that and give that to myself now. So self-parenting, self-partnering, that becomes about giving to ourselves what we didn't get. And like all of the pain, drama, all of it really began the moment we were born and took a form on this earth, because the idea of separation became our quote unquote reality at that point, and our limited understanding was that all my needs aren't being met immediately anymore. We go from being in the womb, being a little baby, being completely taken care of in every way, our needs instantaneously met, to the birth process itself, which can be really traumatic for a lot of us, and then being separated. And from there, it's like, I'm hungry, no matter how attentive the parents. None of this is ever about blaming our parents, but they couldn't meet all our needs at any given time. And depending on the consciousness of our parents, we went through our own journey growing up and developed so many beliefs about who we were. Well, before we could even really verbalize, we were already taking on the belief that it had to do something with me, right? We know little children and babies, it's all ego land. It's like me, right? And you're going to hear lots of me out of all the adults right now that have the unhealed child at play. So it had to be my fault if my needs weren't being met. It must be because something's wrong with me. I wasn't good enough. I don't deserve it. I'm not worthy. And this is the core of human wounding. All humans are carrying this wound of separation, and I'm not worthy of love, something, and it just has different flavors. It might be, I deserve to be punished because of this, or I'm not good enough, or can't do it. However, your flavor works, but it's going to be something that we're always working with throughout our spiritual journey as long as we're here in a human form. Uh, Aspects will come up, and that's what a lot of this week is like. Yeah, expansion, woo, beautiful multidimensional space, inspiration, light, expansion, go go go, spiraling, lifting. I had to bring in this artwork by Farron Peterson with this amazing spiral in the back today, because it's awesome. I mean, there's so much crystalline light flooding us, and this chalice energy that has been here all year, that really opened with 8-8, the Lion's Gate, and this divine feminine that has been coming in. It's so amazing. And of course, all of the wounds are coming up to be resolved. And that's why they show up, right, in our life, so that we can have that gift in that moment. And what lifts us out of every sticky moment, trauma, victim triangle, whatever you are stuck in, gratitude. Gratitude will always lift us, and I think gratitude almost has gotten overdone in the world now, because it's almost like a meme, right? It is a meme at this point. Have gratitude, be thankful. Yeah, that's awesome. I'm so glad that that's happening. However, it can really make the sense of deepening into gratitude feel cheapened when we don't really acknowledge the deeper aspects of what's happening within us. Because it's not enough to just go straight to like, oh, thank you for that really painful experience. We get there, right, where we can go there. But we have to be willing to really be with that experience for a moment and harvest the gifts and the jewels, to say, what were the gifts of those experiences? And that's a really powerful thing to do. If you've had what feels like a bang up year, or you've been banged up this year, whatever way you feel, trust it's all perfect. And this is the opportunity this week really to kind of take stock, and of course, going into the new year, it's always awesome doing that, but really to take stock of what have I learned? What have I been through? What are the gifts that I harvested from these experiences? Right. Many of us have been harvesting these gifts of like, what has this whole COVID thing done for us? Right. There are gifts in it. No matter which way things went for us, there's a gift, right? There's gifts in what we learn. And like Dominique shared earlier, the tenacity to keep going forward, the tenacity is often the gift. That's a gift that we keep saying yes and we keep going. I mean, that is something that you have to have on this journey is tenacity to keep saying yes, because we will be challenged again and again and again. And um, big, big um, up level energy, massive, that we can tap into to heal very quickly and rapidly. As a healer and mentor and coach, I'm seeing people that are lifting through things so fast. And that's the beautiful part. As soon as we decide we want to bring the healing in, or we want to resolve something, we have that ability to do it very quickly with these energies right now, in this flow right now. And since some of you might have joined since the beginning of our show, I'm going to give out that phone number again, because we have a live call board today. And if you would like to call in and share about how these energies are for you, or if you would like to request a mini reading, or if you would just like to ask a question or share, 517-208-1500 is the number. 517-208-1500 will get you into the call board, and would be lovely to bring you into the show. If you are feeling called, head on over and give that number a call, 517-208-1500. And yeah, and in this moment, really honoring this commitment that you made to be here right now, because uh Master Lady Kira Ra will share this all the time, that you pushed somebody out the way to get here. And seriously, you did. You said, I want to be here, I'm jumping up and down, send me to earth. And this part blew my mind, on this journey, is to realize that sometimes when we talk about ascension, some people are talking about, yeah, I got to get off this earth, got to ascend, got to like live up there, out there. I don't want to do any of this earthly stuff. I mean, I've been there, done that, right? Don't want to do it. Don't want to do the the things that have to be done to be here on density. Let me just float out in the cosmos. But you came here to have a body and be here now. Otherwise, you'd still be floating out in the cosmos doing your thing. And it's really the time right now. Like, there's going to be discomfort if you're not moving towards your dreams or visions. What are you birthing? And get into that alignment with the self partnership piece. And by that, it's that is union. That's a step of self ascension, to be in union. And this is not about being in union with another being, although that can be, and that can be wonderful as well. But this is about being in divine union with the soul and the one that you are, and bringing the body into union, bringing the mind into union, bringing the emotions, bringing all those things that come from this world of form into unification with the oneness. And that's who we are self partnering with. We want to come into self partnership, and that inner child that's carrying past wounds and beliefs and things wants that parent to show up. Those unmet needs that we have that maybe our parents could not fulfill, it's that moment of like deep forgiveness and awareness that everyone has been doing the best they could given their level of consciousness. The gratitude comes when you say, hey, these beings, like, I signed up to be here. I picked these parents, I picked this location and this time to be inserted in the timeline. And that's what I needed for my spiritual awakening and to be able to remember on this earth. So, I mean, I bow down in honor my parents for playing the roles that they played so perfectly for me to know and remember who I am and be here today, right? And without self partnering, we're constantly looking outside of us, right? We go to relationships and we think that person's going to fix us or make us feel better or right. The job, the spiritual path is going to fix me, right? All these things. But it always comes back down to, are we in alignment with ourselves? In alignment, alignment, enlightenment, enlightenment. Are we connected to the source of who we really are? Are you? That's the self partner within, is the true self. A lot of what we think of as myself is the personality self, because we got so used to, I'm a personality, I'm an ego, I'm a body. We forgot that we had all this other aspect to us, right? And we had to remember it through this lifetime. So it's coming into the self, the higher self, sometimes we call it, but that's the true self, the authentic self, our authenticity. And when we come into that space, then we can really expand into our vision and mission, and things become super clear. Where to move next, what to do next, who to date, whatever. All of that stuff comes from us being aligned with the truth of our being and being centered in the alignment within. It's really a beautiful thing to come home to ourselves. And then, yeah, the other pieces, the jobs, the partnerships, those things, they come in to our field from the aspect of where we're already nourishing ourselves. We're not looking for something outside of us to fix ourselves, right? And again, we learned that when we were really young. Got to look outside ourselves, and there must be something wrong with us because we can't fix it from outside ourselves. And we're coming home to saying, oh, it was all within me all along. I remember, and the ability to connect right now, fast, rapid, the minute we decide. Even if you feel like you fell off the horse and you were on your spiritual path and you fumbled or fell, like, it's all perfect, right? And in an instant, you can get back there. You can get back and higher than ever before. And you know how to do it. And again, like I was sharing, like sometimes when we think we want to ascend off this earth, no, we came to be here and experience this and bring heaven to earth, literally, right? To bring higher consciousness to this form, to this world, and to share your unique gifts. What brings you joy? That's the barometer. Don't have to think about what should I do, need to do, whatever. What brings you real joy? Where's your passion at? What makes your heart sing? How do you love to love the world? And it's as simple as that, really. It's we make it way more complex than it needs to be. And let's see, I see we've got Illinois on the call, so I'm going over to the call board and bringing you in. Hello, Illinois.
Hi, Jess. It's Gary. Namaste.
Hi, Gary. Namaste. It's awesome to hear you.
Oh, it's been a while. Long time since they were in India.
I know. I remember
Since you and I
that.
talked.
I remember that. I think about that often because that was Soul Mirrors and that was like a huge deal. And you came in and shared your energy. It was so awesome. Oh, how are you
Oh,
doing?
well, it was awesome. It's nice to connect with you. I'm on my lunch break right now. It works out perfect. You got an hour, and I got an hour for lunch. So I'm
Perfect.
enjoying you for lunch.
Oh, that's
Works out
awesome.
great.
That's awesome. Is there anything I can serve you with today?
Oh no, I would love I love a mini solar, and anytime I can get in touch with the angelic realm, that you know, with someone
Awesome.
else is great.
Beautiful. All right. Well, thank you, Gary. And yeah, as I'm just tapping in here and feeling into your energy and just honoring you. I love your energy. I know everyone else feels you too, that you carry such a spark. And I haven't even forgotten this, that the light codes were so active in you last time we had this conversation, that I'm still like feeling them, and I literally am getting hot as I connect with you. It's like a burning off. It's very much a you're walking into that void of creation. You're burning off everything that doesn't serve, all those past personalities, pieces, whatever, and really realizing, yes, the past is just that. It is the past. And I'm not this body. I am not the body. I am the I am, and that the master is here, that you are, and stepping forward with this beautiful, like, just broad beaming grin, beautiful big wings, and that there is this divine masculine presence in total balance with that divine feminine that is here supporting you. So it is your time to live your dreams. It is your time. You are very much in creation flow. So just, yeah, keep it going, keep doing what you're doing. And thank you so much for calling in and connecting.
That was beautiful.
Oh, awesome. It is my pleasure.
Really beautiful. I could feel you the whole time, Jess. That's awesome. And I thought you, last time I connected with you and Terry, I felt your guys' energy too. That was beautiful. Man, I had a cool experience yesterday. Len and I went up to the top of the Sun Pyramid in Cahokia, Illinois, and watched the sun come up.
Oh.
And soon as the sun fully came above, the ecliptic, you could see the prana everywhere. It was sparkling. Just the air was just sparkling all around us, man. There was little tiny orbs and floating entities. It was killer.
Oh my God, that's so cool. I can feel that with you. What an awesome experience that you got to have. And I can,
Oh, it was. It is cool, man. I'm having a blast, man. I really am. I'm having a blast because I am leaving. That what you said is true. I had a reading with Kara, and she was talking about this drama within me, and I was telling, I've been going through it. I'm shedding this stuff, getting rid of it, because I'm gonna walk this. I do walk what I talk. And that's why people, they don't shy away from me, or when I say something, and they're really, if I see a time to shine some light, I'll do it, and I don't get ignored or people shut down on me like they used to. You know what I mean? So it's
wow.
pretty cool. So
Wow.
if you walk it, you can talk it. That's the way I look at it.
That's right on. I love it. That's perfect. I'm so happy to connect with you on this week, and happy holidays, however you celebrate. And I hope that it's
You
just
too,
awesome.
sweetheart.
Thank you so much.
You too, honey.
I love
I
you.
love you.
I
Namaste.
love you. Namaste. Oh, so beautiful. So, if anyone else wants to sneak in, we do have a little more time. 517-208-1500. Thanks for sharing lunch break with us, Gary. I love it. That's why I really did want to pick the show for this time, is that those of us on the East Coast can grab our lunch and hang out during this hour together. Yeah, so beautiful. I'm feeling the gifts and the expansion. Thank you for bringing your energy to this show and being that example of the light that is, and what is happening for so many of us now as we shed the past. And this is coming so clear to me too, where it's like, I'm really done with that. Who was that even, right? It's all almost like a story that, a lifetime once lived or something. And I have several of those experiences in this lifetime. That, who was that even? Because it's all constructed, right? It's all part of this illusion of having a personality and a form and the person we are, and all those connections and things. And as we are lifting and ascending, those of us on a path of consciousness and raising our awareness, it's so huge, and we can't carry any of those burdens with us if we want to hang out, especially in the seventh dimension, because no judgment can live there. Clarity lives there. And then there's all these other beautiful dimensions showering their energy in us. We want to connect with that and lift. And it's that much harder if we're carrying stuff around. So it's time. It's time, call on the divine violet flame and Saint Germain and Archangel Zadkiel to help clear those decks. Call in your guides, your helpers, your supporters. They are here to assist us, and we often times forget it, right? And our body, we have to partner with our body. That self partnership, it's our body needs us. And this is becoming huger and huger this year and going into the next year as we expand, is that it's hard to lift if the body is suffering, right? So if we're not, it's not just the foods we're eating, it's all of the ways that we are supporting our body in this world. and what our body needs from us, and to feel safe and to love and celebrate. This is my temple. This is my place where my soul worships every day, that my soul got to come here and be here on this beautiful planet, and how often do we just not honor the journey of our body, and how often do we judge it, right? And that is hurting us and keeping us from lifting. So if we are judging our body, you picked how you wanted to look, you picked everything, you said this is what I need for my soul's journey, right? Can you look into your eyes and see the blessing of who you are? And look, this is hard at first. Sometimes the first time I looked in a mirror and said I love you to myself, I just cried and cried, and so being aware of when you're in judgment of your body and when you're not during your days, and not to judge the judgment, just be aware of where you're at. How are you treating your body? Do you love your body? And the more you can love and see your body and the divine of your body, the more you see that for others. And it's like this beautiful feedback loop then, because you start to just see more and more beauty in the world, and more ease. And if there's pain present in the body, if there's things happening in the body, yeah, there could be ascension symptoms happening. You could be experiencing ascension symptoms as the body is needing to adjust to all of these energies right now. But also, it's a call from our body that's saying, love me more, listen to me. Because, right, everything's connected. If something is wounded inside of us, like say we have a trauma imprint from childhood and took on belief systems and more energy, and it got magnetized and more traumatic experiences, because that's how it works until we break open. And if we haven't listened, and we aren't listening to our intuition, and we aren't honoring our needs, it will show up in the body because it gets our attention, doesn't it? If it shows up in the body, then we say, oh, I don't feel good. We can ignore the intuitive, quiet voice and stuff it down and try to stuff emotions and all those other things. But the body will not lie, and it will tell us. And that's when we have to come into deep forgiveness, non-judgment, awareness, love. This is really an important moment to say, I love everything in my past about myself, where I'm going. It's time, and to also relax the mind. And the mind is very much like has its own body too. The mind has its own body, and it carries a lot of pain imprints and memories, and it tries to keep us so safe. And the brain and the mind are so connected, and the brain's always saying something bad happened before, it could happen again. Remember how you got hurt? And a lot of it's so buried, you're not really thinking it this literally, right? But it's there. If you're experiencing something that's not peace, love, or joy, something's happening under the surface. And so often we are just creating drama and these victim triangles in our own mind. Like, it's exhausting. It's exhausting to do that. And we can stop anytime and lift out and above. We can't play our way off the game board. Famous Sri Ramkot quote: you cannot play your way off the game board. Density is like a big old game board. You can play on it all you want, but you can't get off the game. You can't win the game. None of it, unless you lift off the game board and look down from the perspective of all that is. And in that moment, then you start to see with gratitude and clarity all of the experiences, and honor everyone else in their path as well, because everybody is on their path. And I'm just laughing. I'm peeking at the chat. Gary says the past is a dirty diaper you already got to your nutrients from. Now it's just a bag of shit. Toss it over your shoulder. Love and light. I love it. You got everything you needed. You are done with it. Throw that dirty diaper away. I love it. I love that metaphor. And I love that, Beatrice. I look in the mirror and don't see that girl who was my past. That's like amazing in that moment when you're like, oh my God, like, right? That's not who I am anymore. And to really look at ourselves now It was the most profound moment for me when I actually caught myself look at myself in the mirror going by and say, I love you. It was like the first thought that came to my mind, right? I love you. But for the majority of my life, it was picking at something I didn't like, right? About my appearance. We all went through that. So you know when something's taken root when you can actually just glance at yourself and say, I love you is the first thing you think, not a judgment, you know? And if you're not there yet, the tenacity, you know, that we were talking about earlier, keep trying, try again, keep loving yourself. Why would we give up on that? If we give up, there's always an opportunity to say yes again. And we've got like just a couple minutes, but I'm going to sneak in another caller from California. I think this is Amara. Hello, Amara.
Hi, Jess. It is Amara. What a wonderful show you have. I'm having so much fun being with you today, and everybody else I can feel. The word compassion, compassion, compassion. It's so important. And in that energy of compassion is forgiveness. It is that violet energy of forgiveness and rejuvenation that we all need at this time. But wow, we have so many messages coming in from the world about what we need and what would make us happy, all these lovely suggestions. But it really is the time to enter back into our hearts and to just bathe ourselves in that love. So I know your show is about to end, but I just wanted to say to everybody listening, have a wonderful week of expansion. This is a brand new cycle with the beginning of the solstice cycle. And never give up on yourself. And every morning when you look in the mirror, do give yourself a long hug and say, I love you. You are so beautiful. Anytime we release anything into the violet flame through the wonderful container practice, we are doing service. We are releasing the energies that burden the world as we release our own burdens. And we're recycling that energy and giving it to the angels so they can place it where it belongs. So it's been a wonderful time with you today, and thank you so much for taking my call.
Oh my gosh, darling. Thank you for calling in and sharing that with us. And I'm going to mute you just because there's background noise. But thank you, thank you, thank you, Amara, for sharing your wisdom, your message. What a beautiful way to close out our show. I appreciate you and love you so very much. And happy holidays to you.
Thank you, Jess.
Namaste. Okay, loves. Yes. Wow. Beautiful. Thank you for the beautiful sharings and calling in because it's so fun. And if you didn't feel the urge to call in, but you want to email me, Jess at selfascensionstudios.com. Love to hear your sharings. I could throw you on my newsletter list if you want to hear about things I have coming up because things are happening. wwaglobal.com. You want to check that out and be with us on New Year's Eve with Shri and Kira for an amazing ensoulment and announcement about the virtual Women Wellness Awakening Summit. So check that out as well if that speaks to you. And yeah, stay tuned. Stay with us. Stay grounded and lifted into the light that you are. Really call that in. Be the one that you have been seeking. Give yourself the gift of partnering and loving you even more. Thank you for being here, and I will be with you next Tuesday, every Tuesday at 9 a.m. Pacific, noon Eastern Time. We are here, Soul Forward, Soul Fusion Cafe, Soul Fusion Cafe with Jess Juntunen. Thank you. It has been my honor and pleasure to be with you. Many blessings.